I'm Phil, an ordinary 56-year-old man. I have 4 grown children with my wife of 35 years, Penny. My 2 boys are living on their own, and 2 girls are living with us. All of my children are unique and talented, while I'm pretty plain. They teach me a lot. They probably have more of Penny's DNA. I'm just a factory worker, but she always supported me and raised my wonderful children. I can't thank her enough. It's almost 20 years since I started working at the factory. Time flies.
Is it already? In your younger years, you didn't get a real job when we had 4 kids. I thought about divorce more than a few times.
That's true. When I was young, I had doubts about my life and couldn't figure out how to live. So I tried out many different things and ended up traveling to figure it out, leaving my wife and children at home. I was a burden to Penny, and probably the worst husband. Then I met Mr. McAvoy, the former CEO of the factory where I work now, in one of the destinations of my travels, India. Upon coming home, I was hired at his factory in America. We're a manufacturer of precision machinery, and I've been involved in the production line and machinery management. I never thought I was cut out for this kind of work. Mr. McAvoy saw my manual handiness and focus.
You're right. I'm so happy that you've settled and the kids are all grown up. We owe him so much.
Yeah, at the same time, I owe you so much, Penny. The products I was involved with were well received and recognized as world-class technology. A craftsman working in a factory, so to speak. Unfortunately, Mr. McAvoy fell ill last year and passed away soon after. And it was his only son, Tim, who was famously selfish, who took over. Mr. McAvoy was a great leader with a keen eye for the work, but not for raising a child. Tim never really worked until he was 40 and knew nothing, then suddenly became CEO of a company. We were the ones who suffered. I'm trying my best to operate the factory because I owe this to my mentor, Mr. McAvoy, but his son hadn't the slightest idea. Who's in charge of this line? I am. It's taking too much time. Speed it up! As soon as Tim entered the factory, he raised his voice. He didn't know the first thing about the factory, but he said this and that. Sorry to say this, but if we speed up more, quality will be affected. Tim valued time more than quality, which often conflicted with me, who had maintained quality work. Also, he treated us badly. He may think that yelling around and being arrogant is the CEO's job. Hey you! Who do you think you're talking to? When I tell you to do it, just do it! Is this how you talk to a veteran worker of 20 years? But I can't just be quiet. I know that they will be a second-rate product if I listen to this man. It'll ruin the reputation of this company that we have built. I won't let that happen! Like I said, our current speed is the limit for maintaining our quality level. Or are you saying you don't care if our reputation got hurt by lowering the quality? How dare you talk to me like that? You're Phil, right? I'll remember your name, he said as he saw my name tag. Have it your way. I've been working in this factory for 20 years, and I know inside and outside of it. You can badmouth me, but I won't let you hurt the reputation of the factory. I guess I said too much. If it wasn't for my coworker Bob, I might have jumped on him. Hey Phil, shut your mouth! I'm sorry for his behavior. I'll talk to him well. Bob and I have been working together for over 10 years. He would stop me like that when my brake pedal didn't work. He urged me to apologize to Tim, and I had to do so. Phil, apologize to him now! He whispered to me when I resisted. Just say the word! Think about your family! That made me realize that even if I got fired, my wife and grown-up kids wouldn't be living in the street. But I decided not to make Penny cry like I did before. I'm sorry, sir. I was out of line. I was forced to say. You idiot employee! Don't forget! There'll be no next time! He pridefully said and left. Sorry, Phil. We're totally with you, but we just can't risk our jobs. No, I'm the one who needs to apologize. I shouldn't have said that. It's my fault if he got his eye on us. I'm sorry. But who's the idiot here? Mr. McAvoy built up the trust of the company, and now his son is ruining it. What can I do? I told my family about this.
That's the most awful story I've ever heard. That pinhead CEO doesn't understand Dad's good intentions for the products at all. I can't stand someone like him.
Paige has always had a strong sense of responsibility and hates crooked things. I'm sure she inherited her mother's genes the most.
It's a shame. Mr. McAvoy was serious about his business and won the trust of the employees.
Phoebe's 3 years older than Paige and going on 30 soon. They were just little girls and now smart adults. What a joy to have watched it. But that's another story. Phoebe has a keen eye for observation and often predicts the future. She saved the family from crisis many times before. And the one who got angry most by my story was...
That child CEO! How dare he talk to my husband like that? Maybe it's my turn to...
Hold on, honey! This is my problem. I'll manage it. Phew. Penny's usually nice, but when it comes to her family, she throws her common sense out the window. When Paige was stalked by some lowlife, she said she was going to turn him into mincemeat. And that was a scary episode. I never saw him again, but I wonder if he's still alive. Her destructive power makes me pee my pants sometimes. It's also her charm, though. I'm feeling better after you all listened to me. Thank you. I have this wonderful family. I don't really care about that small-timer. The beer will wipe out the bad thoughts. A few months later, the pressure from the CEO hadn't subsided. He demanded unreasonable things like to speed up and to increase the production rate every time he saw me. But I had pride and confidence in my products, and I never wanted to compromise to lower the quality. Instead, I had no other choice but to work overtime every night to meet the demand. But working overtime day after day challenged my and others' physical limits. Regardless, the CEO still complained to us. They said your department increased overtime hours. So I explained to him why. Yes, to meet the deadline, overwork was inevitable. And he said, "Are you stupid or what? Even if you meet the deadline, we won't make a profit if we have to pay you overtime. I'd say you're slow. I won't allow you to work overtime from today. I won't pay you a dime if you do." Oh no, he's serious. He doesn't understand, or rather, he has no intentions to understand, how our line operates. You may not know this, but they buy our products for quality. We can't compromise the quality even though it may take a little longer. Huh? When did you become a businessman? It's my job to decide how to operate the line and workers, not yours. The order from the CEO is absolute. Don't worry too much about quality. Speed it up! Chop chop! Well, this is not a kitchen. If it can't be produced that fast, others would have done it already. He doesn't know we're called exceptional workers. Mr. McAvoy put us workers first. I was irritated with Tim. Bob, next to me, looked anxious because I was about to explode, but I had to say it clearly. Sorry to say this, but if you force your way, we'll lose our customers. We've come this far by steadily creating small, precise parts. Your father didn't compromise its quality and made better products than others. I can't betray his wish by making lesser products. I said that to make my intentions clear so that he might understand, but his reply was something unexpected. Huh? He's not here. I am. Don't bring up his old-fashioned idea. You don't have a say in this. He continued. Hey, Phil. We don't actually need someone like you who's been here for years and years and years and is inflexible. You're fired. I may have said too much, but fired? I was at a loss, and he ignored me and left. Phil, are you okay? I thought you said it well, but fired? Bob seemed shocked as well. Oh no, I didn't think it would go that far. There was nothing more I could say. I just left and headed home. I was trying to figure out how to break the news to my family. How could I tell them I'm unemployed from tomorrow? It would disappoint Penny like the old days. I dragged my feet with a heavy heart to the living room.
Dad, congratulations! Hi, honey. Good for you.
Paige and Penny looked excited with all smiles. I didn't get it. Is it some kind of anniversary today? Or my birthday? Well, that was 3 months ago. Wedding anniversary? Not that either. What is it?
Bob called me and said you got fired. I'm glad it happened.
What? Why? What's she saying? Yeah, I was fired, but why? Then Phoebe filled me in.
Because, Dad, that company is coming to an end. Hold on a minute.
There she goes again. Her clairvoyance. She's seeing something now.
Yes, I knew it. You can look forward to tomorrow. You'll do what you think is right, as usual.
I see, or I don't. Then Penny and Paige explained it to me. Oh, then it was good for me to have been fired. Now I'll make that stupid CEO see his end. He needs to pay. Now tomorrow looks bright. The next day, I came into his office for the resignation paperwork. Hey, trying to be clingy, huh? Do you want to take back what you said to me? How low can this man go anyway? I'm not here for that. I just stopped by for the paperwork. He seemed surprised for a moment, but... Oh, you're being pretty bullish. It's good news to me if you're not here anymore. When we were talking like this, a clerk came in, upset.
CEO! All the factory workers are saying they quit!
Huh? What do you mean? Then Bob and all the factory workers stepped into the office. CEO, if you fire Phil, we all quit. Most of the younger guys started working here knowing Phil's reputation. And we veteran workers can't work under your direction. We've been patient, but if you fire someone as serious and skillful as Phil, we can't work here. We'll quit. What are you talking about? Phil's just one worker among all... While Tim was upset, a younger guy spoke. Phil is a legendary level craftsman in this industry. We applied to this company to learn skills from him. If it's not for him, there's no reason to be in this dump. Thanks. Thanks for that. Are you that big in the industry? Tim looked astonished hearing what Bob and a young guy said. And he surprised me. In that case, can you stay, Phil? I'm taking it back. You're not fired. I was shocked at the sudden change in his attitude. No, I don't want to. I'll never come back, I said firmly. Huh? Why not? You'll get a raise. How about that? Or if you want an executive position. I heard this company's in trouble. While we were working our butts off, you were drinking, gambling, spending money on pretty girls. After you spent so much money on them, you used the company money too. How do you know? We all saw him turn white. My daughter Paige told me. She's in fact a private detective. My other daughter Phoebe, who has clairvoyance, told me a few months ago that the company is doing something funny. Paige's investigation revealed this soon after. What's more, this idiot CEO was going to use B-grade parts in the product that we all had worked so hard to make. That's why we sent the product to another factory to finish it. He must have thought of making it cheap by cutting corners. They'll find out soon, and my reputation would plummet. That's why my family was happy with my leaving the company last night. They said it was good that I was to leave before my name was tarnished. Your cheap trick. We technical craftsmen kill our careers when our reputations go south. How are you going to compensate for that? Well, I thought just a few couldn't hurt. Are you kidding me? Others were also saying, "How dare you! I'll kill you!" Then yelled at the CEO and demanded a response. I'm sorry! Please forgive me! Surrounded by many workers, Tim cried in a pathetic voice. If I didn't, my coworkers would end his short career. I casually walked away. Serves him right. Later, all the workers resigned, and the factory was closed down in no time. In other factories under the same company, workers resigned, and the company went bankrupt eventually. Tim lost everything and got into debt. I heard he's chasing after tuna and crabs in the ocean. The factories were bought by a new owner and went back in business. None other than my wife, Penny. She started her business when I was roaming around and expanded it over the years. She's a well-known business person now. Once she bought out the factory, she called all the workers who resigned to invite them back. And we got back to work in the same condition before Tim came.
The parts you made are stunningly beautiful. Look at the little trick for this hexagonal tapping screw.
Not at all, but thanks. You have keen eyes to notice such a small part, Penny.
That's a little too technical. Mom always loved everything Dad made. Mom, when you found out Tim was wrongdoing, were you planning to buy out the company? No, I don't usually invest in something when its future is unclear, but when I heard Bob and the other workers were going to resign after Phil, I couldn't help but be moved by their actions. I had to save those who were loyal to Phil.
That's my girl. She's the best woman in the world.
Of course, and you, my husband, are the best darling in the world. Well, you're certainly living the dream. Thank you for watching! What kind of crazy people will we get to see next? Stay tuned for more!